All right, Pasadenians and heroes everywhere, it is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier, coming to you live under the auspices of Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. I would say from, but is anything from anywhere anymore? We'll see. Today we're talking about an exciting thing that's going on through PJTC. It is our virtual Tikkun Leil Shavuot. And I'll tell you what all that means. Those are a bunch of Hebrew words. I'll tell you what all that means here in a minute and let you know what kind of learning we're able to do together and how to connect with that in just a moment after this brief musical interlude. All right, coming back at, let's turn that music down a little bit. Coming back at you, it is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier, coming to you live through PJTC in this, let's say, semi-weekly, bi-weekly. It's twice a week here at Rabbi Chat, and I'm here to answer any questions that you have about Jewish stuff. If you are Jewish, Jew curious, working on it somehow, many people watch our stuff who are converting to Judaism or spiritual seekers looking to learn things about Judaism. I am here for you. You are in the right place, and I'm excited to learn with you today. Today, what I wanted to highlight was some really cool stuff that's happening at PJTC. And again, I use the word at loosely. Now it's an ampersand, the little at sign. Because we are, for all intents and purposes, a virtual community. We still have a physical location. It's safer for us not to be close together right now. And so we're doing everything that we can to make resources available to people from everywhere. We've got live streaming services going on every week, every Friday night at 7:30 p.m., every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. You should know that it's Pacific time. And normally what we do is what's called a Tikkun Leil Shavuot. And this is a practice going back a very long time of doing some intensive Torah study Erev Shavuot, the evening that begins the Jewish holiday of Shavuot, one of the three pilgrimage festivals, the Shalosh Regalim, if you will. Along with Passover and Sukkot, we have Shavuot that starts this Thursday night. I believe that's May 28th of the Gregorian year 2020, or the 6th of Sivan of 5780. And what we like to do when things are how they've been before this year is to get people together and have a number of different teachers share their Torah, share some teaching about some aspect of Torah or the Jewish tradition or Jewish culture based on their own expertise. And we've got a lot of really smart people at PJTC. That's one of the things I love about being part of this community is we've got literal rocket scientists and probably I don't know any brain surgeons personally, but I do know a lot of epidemiologists, which are nice to have around these days. So, and most of the time. So we had a lot of really smart people, a lot of people talented in many different areas who are also passionate about Torah and about Jewish values and about Jewish traditions. And so every year we get these folks together, and maybe we don't study all night. I mean, that's a bit much. I'm getting older. I can't stay up all night the way I used to. But we get together and study late, and we have cheesecake or ice cream or some sort of wonderful dairy product. Let's see. So far, we have Diwalexin in the house. Shabbat says Shalom Lekulam. And Nawa64 says Shalom, y'all. Good to see both of you from Colorado. Tupin Belden is coming in from North Hollywood. Good to see you, Britain. And we've got Rotten Badger says Shalom. Nice to have you here. So this year, we can't do what we normally do. And that's been true about a lot of things. You know, we do live streaming services, but there's nobody in the pews these days. It's me and the cantor, and we have some great davening team to support us. But we're streaming it so that people can see it from a safe place wherever they are. And we're also, let's say, for example, for Shavuot holiday services, we're having those on Friday morning and Saturday morning this year. And you're like, hey, Saturday morning, isn't that Shabbat? Boy, we're doing kind of we have a Friday morning holiday service. And then on Saturday morning, we have sort of a Shavuot Shabbat mashup service that we're doing. But we were scratching our heads thinking, how do we do the normal Tikkun Leil Shavuot? How do we have all these wonderful people in our community share their teaching with the broader world? And what we decided to do is kind of do it in a TED Talk format. You know, TED Talks, often they're in person, but many more people see TED Talks online than see them in person. And so we asked our congregants, you know, who wants to do kind of a TED Talk style presentation? And we got many people responded to this. And so what we've done is we've got a bunch of pre-recorded lectures, let's say, ranging from, I think the shortest one's maybe 7 minutes to the longest one from this guy. It's always, you know, as Rabbi Dan said, you know, remember, John, no rabbi ever got fired for talking too little. In fact, no rabbi ever talked too little. So mine's pretty long. It's about 39, 40 minutes. But we have this whole range of different subjects. The book of, I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background. She's upset about being in the crate. Shh. Okay. She's got her squeaky chicken in there. It's live television, folks. So we've got Rabbi Jason Mann. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to pull this list up just so you know. And if you want to check it out, I have put the link to this particular playlist. We've got it in a playlist in YouTube. I'm just looking at the multi-chat. We got Trig Bell is here from Facebook. We've also got Karen KG Wilcox says, hi, I'm back. Good to see you. And let's see. Got K Dixie coming in from YouTube and also on the Twitch I saw. Drinkers lol. All right. So what you can see, whether you're joining us on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live, and I think Twitch too, in the description of this video, look down there, there is a link to a YouTube playlist. And you click that link, it goes to YouTube, and there's 6 videos lined up for you. And I just want to see, give me a second. Again, that's good radio. I just want to see who all is on there so I don't forget anybody. So there we go. Pasadena Jewish. I'm showing you how easy this is. Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. I'm going to, who are all these folks here? We've got some great, let's click on that. And oh wait, there's my face right now in this live. I'm going to turn that down so I don't get any feedback. So we've got this guy, Rabbi John Carey. I'm talking about Shavuot, kosher wine, and how Torah grows. Did you know that the Torah grows? So if you want to find out more about that and what that has to do with Shavuot and kosher wine, check that out. We've got a wonderful teacher, Rabbi Shana Chandler Leon is teaching about the book of Leviticus, or Sefer Vayikra. So that's pretty dope. You should check that out. She's a wonderful teacher of the Melton School of Adult Jewish Learning here in Southern California. So, and I think she's maybe going to be teaching for us at PJTC soon. So she's going to be teaching about that. And that might give you a little Vorspice, a little flavor about that particular class that she's going to teach. So she teaches about Sefer Vayikra, the book of Leviticus, in this playlist. We've also got a good friend of mine, Jill Goldwright, is teaching about the book of Psalms, or Psalms, if you say it that way, and how it reflects human experience. We have Rabbi Jason Mann, who's a member of our congregation and a teacher in our congregation, has a wonderful Torah class every Thursday morning. He's teaching about the Book of Ruth, and his talk is called The Book of Ruth, A Journey to Redemption. The Book of Ruth intimately connected to the holiday of Shavuot. Then we have a couple more people. We have Susan Auerbach, who's teaching about mental health awareness to support our families and our communities in a difficult time, which a lot of us are having right now. So I highly recommend that. And then, let's see, finally, we have Ida Unger is part of our congregation, A Personal Journey Through the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And if anybody's watching this, if anybody's been watching me for a while, you know that I'm not a Kabbalist by any stretch of the imagination. I've done a little bit of study in there insofar as it's connected with Talmud and things that I really get into. But people are asking me questions about what's the Keter and what's the Malchut and what's the Bina and what's the Gevura and all these things, and not my area of expertise. Frankly, I don't know if I'm old enough yet. I'm not sure. But Ida Unger walks you through that whole diagram in what I think is a very powerful discussion, and I highly recommend that. I learned a lot watching that one, so I think that one's really cool. They're all great. They're all wonderful people at PJTC, and so my main goal today is just to draw your attention to this, what we're calling Shavuot at PJTC. Instead of doing a Tikkun Leil Shavuot, we're doing what I call a Tikkun Shavuot. I would say it's a learning for the whole week leading up to Shavuot. Some places you only get a night. We're giving you a whole week. So check that out. Just click on the link that should be in the description to this video on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitch. You'll go right there and get all sorts of great info. You can, and you do you. You can, watch one a day, kind of pace yourself. If that's your style. You'll want to binge watch it. A lot of us have been getting practice binge watching things lately. Like you're watching a whole series on Netflix. You can watch the whole series back to back. Might take you a while. Might take you a couple hours, but pop your popcorn and take appropriate bio breaks when you need to. And you can watch it at your leisure while eating a blintz, while having some cheesecake or ice cream or other traditional Shavuot dairy food. So just want to see who's joining us here in the chat. Did I see Vit is here? Good to see you all. Good to see you, Vit is here on Facebook. And let's see, Carla J is in the house. Nice to see you, Carla J. And let's see, and Vit I think was sharing some pics of his dog earlier, which is cool. Or I assume Zulu is a dog. Maybe not. I know Vic is a dog person, and I could say this because I'm a dog person, and now I'm a dog person. We've now had Callie for a little over a month. She is 3 months old today. I can't believe it. She's grown by leaps and bounds and is leaping a lot more lately. Today has been a great day of crate training practice. So she's been pretty good in her crate, and I'm making up for it by taking her on long walks. This morning we took a super long walk, like an hour. Around lunchtime we walked for about 45 minutes out in the heat, made sure she was appropriately hydrated before and after that. So in any case, we're having a great time here. If you're just joining us, this is Rabbi Chat at PJTC, and I'm talking about Shavuot at PJTC and what we're doing. So right now, you keep watching the rest of this, but right after this, you can go to the playlist that's on YouTube. We've got 6 great lessons on there, ranging from like 7 minutes to about the Kabbalistic tree of life, to about 40 minutes about the connection between Shavuot, kosher wine, and how Torah continues to grow. One point I wanted to make in that series, or in that particular talk, was every single Saturday, we sing this song during the service, during the end of the Torah service, Eitz Chaim Chi, right? Or Eitz Chaim Chi V'nachazikam Bach. Like the Torah is a tree of life to those who cling to it. And what's a tree that doesn't grow? I think it's a powerful metaphor for Torah. It's got deep roots. It's got wide-ranging branches. It sustains us. It comforts us. It gives us shade in the heat. It bears fruit for our sustenance. And it can't do that if it doesn't grow. And some people see this moment of revelation as a singular point in time where God said everything that God had to say to us, v'zehu, and that's it. And we got a little bit more out of the prophets, but that's it. And the Torah doesn't change. And we can follow all these rules that were set out for Iron Age shepherds, and that's going to be enough to get through our life. I don't think it is, but I don't think the Torah meant to stop there. And I think part of the lesson of Shavuot is this continuous revelation. Of course, the Torah is a tree of life, but of course, if a tree doesn't grow, it's not a tree. It's a fossil. It's a piece of petrified wood. And chas v'shalom, we should think of the Torah that way. So check that out. I just want to give a little quick lesson on sort of the custom of Tikkun Leil Shavuot. Where does this come from? And then I got to peace out and set up my daughter for her 3:30 tap lesson on Zoom. It's interesting. She has carpet in her room where her computer is, but we use the largest cutting board we have, and that has been sufficing for her tap lessons. So where does this idea come from, the Tikkun Leil Shavuot? Tikkun means, what's the word tikkun? Tikkun, on one hand, it's a book that you read the Torah out of. But if we talk about Tikkun Olam, or the repair of the world, it's sort of a rectification or a reconciliation. And the Tikkun Leil Shavuot came about from, there was a midrash that when we were gathered around Mount Sinai, to receive the Torah the first time, and God said ahead of time, like 3 days from now, we need to be gathered around there. Everybody wash your clothes. Everybody stay away from your significant other. Everybody come to it in a state of purity. And then you're going to get something special. And the Midrash says that that day, everybody slept in. Can you imagine? Right? No wonder there was all this thunder and lightning and shofar blast to wake those folks up. So the notion is that our people, when they were about to receive the Torah, slept late that day. And not nice, right? Not very polite to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who's about to give us the Torah. And so from that, I think it's more from the medieval period, let's say. From that, we decided we're going to repair this error. We're going to make up for that. And so that's when we started this custom of Tikkun Leil Shavuot. Leil is related to Laila, which means night. I mean, that's sort of the compound form, Leil Shavuot. The first night of Shavuot, we repair that error of not being ready to receive the Torah by staying up all night and studying Torah. So that's where this custom comes from. It's based on a notion of rectifying this mistake that we had and repairing this relationship with God so that we will be fully ready to receive Torah. And so that's why we do that particular practice. In normal times, it's, especially in Jerusalem where they've got lots of institutions of Jewish learning, probably in New York City. I haven't been there during Shavuot. Certainly in LA, where I lived in Pico Robinson for a number of years. We have a number of synagogues and Jewish institutions close together. You would have a rotating, or what's a progressive tikkun, where you go from synagogue to synagogue and hear different people talk. At PJTC, we'd have all sorts of great people come in to talk. Couldn't do that this year, but we bought you, I was going to say the next best thing, but I think it's just a really great thing, this great playlist of people teaching about the Psalms, about the book of Ruth, about the book of Vayikra or Leviticus, about kosher wine, about the Kabbalistic tree of life, and also a very powerful lesson on helping people manage their emotional well-being during this time, and how to help keep families and communities mentally and emotionally sane at a very difficult time. But all times are difficult in a certain respect. So I really want to thank everybody for being here. Sounds like Twitch is kind of overloading on us right now. I'm not surprised. A lot of folks at home playing video games. So Trig Bell asked a great question on Safaria. The Parsha was different than the usual weekly Parsha. Can you explain that? Yes, we've got, because Shavuot falls on Shabbat this year, we have an interruption in our normal Torah reading cycle. So last week we had, this past week we had Bamidbar, or Parshat Bamidbar, the first Parsha in Sefer Bamidbar. The next Parsha is Naso. But because Shavuot, the second day of Shavuot, falls on Shabbat, our Shabbat Torah reading is not part of the weekly cycle. It's the Shavuot Torah reading. And so on Thursday, I'll talk a little bit more about that, what to expect in a Shavuot service, including what the special Torah readings are for Shavuot. And we'll have time to discuss that on Thursday so that you can get the most out of your Shavuot service experience if you're going to one or live streaming one. But in any case, because the Shavuot Torah reading supersedes the Shabbat Torah reading, that's why we're pushing off the Parshat HaShavua until next week. So let's see. Britton says, I love Shavuot because I love learning, and the focus on the acceptance of converts makes me happy. That's really cool. This is sort of a convert, not centric, I'll say, but this is a holiday with a special meaning to converts, because on this holiday we connect with the book of Ruth, and Ruth is considered, I don't know if we don't have saints so much in Judaism, but she's sort of the matron saint, if you will, of converts in Judaism. Ruth as an exemplar of what it means to join the Jewish family, and not for nothing be, David's great-great-grandma. So let's see, Trig Bell. So we both know we read the Shavuot Torah reading. We don't read the Shabbat Torah reading. We read that next week. So it pushes off. But sometimes in Israel, because they do one day of Shavuot, they get out of sync a little bit. So woohoo, converts in the house. Very good. Tammy Lynn Garrison says, hello, very nice to see you, Tammy Lynn. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Natalie Allison, have the glitches with the PJTC email list been worked out? We still aren't getting them. I'm sorry for that. So nope, still it's a bit of a culture shift there that I'm working on. But certainly if there's particular things, I'm going to see if I can, if there's particular things that you want to hear about, I'll see if I can put those someplace where you can find them. A lot of our stuff is on, the event announcements are on maybe Facebook, and then if you want to know a particular way to connect, let me know. Let's see. Trig is on Facebook. I like this better. There were 2 trolls in the broadcast last week. It's the internet, y'all. Sorry. Can't keep all the trolls out. But at least we can block them for next time. So we've got Jennifer Lauren Nielsen is here. Nice to see you here. And please, just last, I got to go help my daughter get on her ballet class. But last plug, Shavuot at PJTC. There should be a link in the description of this video, wherever you're watching it. So click on that link, go to YouTube, see 6 great talks on various aspects of Torah and life. And let me know what you think. It's really important to me that people not only watch these things, but engage with them, right? So watch them, leave us a comment in Facebook. Let us know you were there. Let us know what you thought of it. If you have questions, ask those questions, and let's turn it from kind of a frontal lecture into a real conversation. So I'm going to sign off for right now. Got a ballet class, a tap class to get to. So really delighted to learn with you all as always. And until next time, Pasadenians and my heroes everywhere, peace.